Where did you?
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Vanessa Alexander Marshall. Welcome. For those of you that are new to my channel, welcome as well. And don't forget, hit the subscribe button at the bottom and make sure you click on the bell so when I am uploading on YouTube, you are notified. Gonna bring another makeup look for you guys. And I think this is fitting to bring this makeup look, even though today is our regular recording day. We're not doing, it's a little weird for me because I'm actually not doing a makeup review today. Our makeup review has been pushed back a few more days, but it's coming, even though you probably won't even tell the difference. So I have so many videos that's already pre-recorded. I do plan on doing a video on updated YouTube and how I'm doing on YouTube so far. I've learned some more stuff being on YouTube now. I've been on YouTube for over 2 years. So yeah, we're going to get a little bit more into that in a little bit. But we're going to concentrate on the makeup look I'm going to bring for you guys today. I'm thinking about doing this makeup look for my IGTV. I just might do that. So the makeup I'm going to be using today, everything is Fenty Beauty. So I think this is a great time with everything that is going on. I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube with black owned makeup brands. I did do one video already with black owned makeup brands. I will put that video in the cards above. I do have a part 2, possibly a part 3, because me going through my arsenal of makeup, I didn't realize I had that much makeup by black owned brands. I didn't realize I had that much, which includes myself. So if you're new to my channel, I do have my own cosmetics line, V.A.M Cosmetics. In my first black owned makeup brand video, I did feature some of my products. I will continue to do that in the upcoming video. Plus I am going to be talking more about what we have coming up for V.A.M Cosmetics. So we're gonna go ahead and get started with this makeup look. So since this is a different kind of Sunday for me, these Sundays are usually the days we film our makeup reviews, but my daughter's not here. She's with her dad. My husband is the regular. He's at work. My son, who y'all are so used to hearing, he's actually in his room. He's asleep. So I am actually got to go into the office for a little while today. So that's why this is a different kind of Sunday for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. As always, handy dandy mirror with me. So let's get started with this Fenty Beauty makeup look. I'm gonna start with primer, and as always, I always put everything in the bottom of the description box of everything that I am using makeup wise. So for primer, I am going to use the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Matte Primer. I'm using this today. I'm going to start with this today. This has actually become one of my favorite primers. I also have the Hydrating primer. It's been a minute since I've used it because since now I have just fallen completely head over heels for this matte primer. Now the original primer that came out when Fenty first came out, I don't know, something about that primer I didn't really care for. I might go ahead and try that original primer again. I might. I'm thinking about it. I didn't like it. I don't know, it was something about it I didn't like it. But of course, you know, I've gotten, you know, a little bit older and so forth, since I like the hydrating and this matte one. We're gonna see. So I have really grown accustomed to this primer, this matte primer. So it's now getting to where I'm using more of the matte primer than I am that hydrating primer. Even though the hydrating primer, and you would think for me the matte primer wouldn't be that great, the hydrating one would be better for me because I do have dry skin. But this matte one, for some reason, I don't know, I have been loving this primer. There we go. Get that straight there. All right, so I have that nice and incorporated into my skin. So we're gonna go with foundation. So for foundation, I am gonna go with my Fenty Beauty Hydrating Foundation. Here it is. The shade that I have is 430. And no, when I put it on, you're gonna realize it is nothing but color. because the color I actually need is 420, and when I picked this up at Sephora, they were sold out. And I had gone to Sephora several times since I picked this up. They are always out of 420. So I may need to just go ahead and just pick it up on the website. And I do need to update a couple of things from Fenty Beauty soon. One of them is going to be the next item I'm going to be using, because yeah, I've been using that thing like crazy. I will gravitate more to this one than the original, the matte foundation that she first came out with, because that one oxidizes a lot. And also for that one, I got the wrong shade. So as you can see with this one, it does go on me a little orange. But I have learned to perfect it so it doesn't look so obvious. And I'm not using any of her sponges or anything like that. This is actually my my e.l.f. sponge. I need to get another one of these e.l.f. sponges. These e.l.f. sponges are good. So I'm just pouncing this into my skin. And as you can clearly see, it is a little orange on me. But it's all right. We're going to make it work. We're going to make it work. We're going to make this work. And I smell the scent of the primer. So if you, I know you've seen a lot of people use a lot of Fenty lately in their black owned makeup brands. I know with my video, I did use Fenty. If you're not familiar with Fenty, she has scent in some of her makeup, but it's so faint. You definitely smell it. Like right now, I have this by my nose and I can smell the scent. But it's not that super strong scent that, you know, like some makeups have. They have that absolutely horrible scent. I'm also making sure I get all of my face. I've noticed in the last couple of my videos I've done makeup looks, I have always skipped coverage on my face. I'm never getting in the areas I need to get to, and I cringe. Like, why did I miss this spot? There we go. So we have it all over. Fenty is also one of my favorite. I'm just going to drag this. It's one of my favorite high-end brands. It's not the favorite. I have a lot of Fenty. All right. Next, we're going to go in with concealer. If y'all don't know by now, this is my absolute favorite concealer. I'm gonna need y'all to get with me. So for concealer, I am using the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Concealer. Here it is. Yes, the bottle is getting a little naked. The shade I am in is 410. This is a great highlighting shade for me. I need another bottle. I am now having to dip into it a few times to get whatever I can. So I just take the concealer. I only do one swipe. I'm not into very heavy concealing. I really don't. And I'm going to take this, define my contour. I'm actually going to contour today for a change. So if you are new to my channel, I am not all really 100% into contouring. But today I'm actually going to contour. I'm going to contour. So I'm going to take the tip end of my sponge and I am going to pounce that in, and I take some of that excess concealer and I do put it on my eyelid as my eyeshadow base. Y'all are actually going to be surprised what eyeshadow I'm going with today. I was kind of debating which eyeshadow to go with for Fenty. And I decided to get this one out, and I was like, okay, I'll do this one. Okay, so we got that. I do blend it around. I try to get a little more because this foundation is not really my shade, but I try to work it into my skin to try to give it a great blend so it can somewhat match me, because I do know this foundation is not my color. And I've said that before with my daughter when y'all seen our latest Fenty Beauty review. And it's not my color. Right. And at one point, I think I was into highlighting a lot. Not into it too much. Because I'm one of these people, I just like to stay as natural as I can with my makeup looks. I don't like super altered makeup looks. I don't. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll watch them on YouTube. But would that be something I'm totally into? No, not at all. And at my age, no. Don't get me wrong, I have people my age, they do that, and it's kind of like, child. But then I also have people my age that think they 20, 30 years older. I'm like, no. There we go. So we got that. And see how I have this already chiseled for my contour, which is how you can come up with a really good fake contour. You can just put the concealer down here and carve it out right here. You'll see some YouTubers do that, but this is how you carve out your contour, because you really don't want it to fade all. You don't want your concealer to fade all the way for that contour effect. You really don't want to do that. Okay, so I am going to actually contour. So I am going to cream contour. I'm going to use the new Fenty Beauty cream bronzer. Here it is. The shade I have is chocolate, so I'm going to go with that today. When I first tried this, I was like, ooh, I didn't realize it was that dark, but this is what I'm going to go with today. It's that. I am going to take this brush. A lot of the brushes I'm using, as I'm using a little bit of variety brushes, some of my favorite brushes actually come from lately, Juvia's Place. Juvia's Place has some really good brushes. They really, really do. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to dip into it, just so, and I am going to create contour. So I just take it and it's just going to draw right here, my nose. I get my nose area, because when I do cream contour, I do that's when I snatch my nose. I'm just going to get a little right here. That's it. And I'm just going to take it a little bit. Try to create that contour effect. Oh, I forgot to get down here too. I did forget to do that. So I am going to contour. So I do have another stippling brush, and I'm going to work that contour in a little bit. I don't know, something about the cream contour, when I am into cream contouring, it kind of gets my nose right here like snatch. It's like defined, like here's my nose. And from time to time, I will take the cream bronzer and bring it across a little bit. Just a little bit. But I just like, I just like that snatch effect right here. For some reason, I like that. I really do like that effect. And I'm just going to take that, blend that up here. There we go. Kind of give that effect. Now, if you're new to my channel, the cream contour I always use is from e.l.f. Their cream contour palette. It's 4 creams, in this one nice size palette. It's $6. I have literally gone and hit pan on these so many times. I have lost count how many of those cream contour palettes I have gotten from e.l.f. So I wanted to see what this was about, and it does. This cream contour, it does smooth out, very easy to blend. Some of those cream contour palettes, they are not very easily blendable. Like the Black Radiance contour palette, the cream one, no, I prefer the powder one on that one, because the powder is much better than that cream. That cream is so stiff. It is very, very stiff. I'm taking this stippling brush, this very small stippling brush, and I'm just patting in my contour, make it a little more defined. I'm not rubbing, I'm not going back and forth, I'm just patting, and it is creating more of the contour for me, but not a heavy contour, because like I said, I'm not really into contouring lately. But when I did try this and use this method with this brush, it really worked. Really, really good. As you can see, again, I'm just patting it in. Just patting. There we go. And then the same thing up top. I'm just going to take it and I'm just patting. And see, it's giving that contour effect. There we go. I'm not going to do too much with the nose area, because the nose is already pre-snatched for me. There we go. So there we go. We got that in. Contour is already done. Next, I am going to go on top of the cream. I got a lot of cream on already, so I am going to go back on top. I am going to set my face and put another bronzer on top of it. So for those of you that are new to my channel, I do set my face twice. The first setting powder I'm going to use, it is not Fenty. I only have one Fenty setting powder, but I'm going to get it at next. But right now I'm going to use my Laura Mercier loose setting powder in translucent. Yes, I do have a mini of this. I actually didn't think I was going to like this Laura Mercier. I really like it. My daughter said, "You gonna love it, watch." I like it. I have to say, she was right. So I take this loose setting powder, that's a little too much, and I do bake no more than 60 seconds. No more than 60 seconds. I'm just going to do that, chisel out that contour more, so make that contour more defined. Since this time I did contour, I'm making it a little more profound. I put that down there just a little bit. So we'll go with that. So I'm going to top this back up. Now I'm going to take my fluffier brush, my e.l.f. brush, and I am going to sweep that off. There we go. See, and I'm still not losing the effect of my contour that I did. And with this, it's showing that contour more. It's definitely showing that contour a lot more. There we go. All right, so for my second setting powder, of course, my favorite, my absolute favorite. Oh my God. Let me, you know, I got something in my eye. I hate when it happens, but this Prioris. Oof, I love this setting powder. She did a good job with these setting powders. It's my Fenty Beauty Loose Setting Powder in Nutmeg. Yes, I love this setting powder. I love it. Absolutely love it. Majority of Fenty Beauty stuff I am not disappointed with at all. I'm not. It's a couple of things that's kind of like, with that. But for the most part, Riri did that. She did that. I know they've been fussing about when she's going to come out with another album. But she all right, y'all. Let her continue with her Fenty Beauty. All right, so I just place it in those 4 areas, and then I just buff it in. Just cut down on the shine a little bit, so I won't be looking like no grease ball. Because let me tell you, if I don't set my face with 2 setting powders, or pressed powder, or whatever, child, true story. True story. And I think I've said this before. Talked about this before. Y'all. My husband was invited to a graduation. Some of his co-workers from the hospital were graduating from Bible college. And we attended. My husband and I, we attended. So I did my makeup. You know. I did not set my face twice. I used 1 setting powder, and I want to say it was a translucent press powder. Y'all, even with me touching up, the touch up didn't help. When I tell you, I look like I had brown Crisco grease on my face. Nah. That's why I make sure I set my face twice. I make sure we don't go through that again. Plus, I'm going on top of all of this with a powder bronzer. So I'm going in with my Fenty Beauty bronzer and Coco Naughty. Y'all, don't be like me. Don't be like me and be looking like you fresh out the fish grease. Don't do it. Don't do it. Please don't. That is why I set my face twice. It's either that or it won't be fresh out the fish grease, fresh out the chicken grease. I look like every oil had popped out and then some, y'all. I looked that bad. And I was so embarrassed because they wanted to take pictures. And, oh, baby. Baby, no. This is also why with my powder bronzer, I put it all over, not necessarily for just the contouring and and even though I am a person that has dry skin, I initially for a long time had combination skin for a long time, but since I had my surgery last year, my combination skin has turned into dry skin. However, when I have my makeup on, don't get me wrong, a lot of that slickness that I get, it feels so good on my dry skin, but at the same time, it's a bad look. Now, I'm not trying to look like I came out the fish grease. I'm not trying to do that. But like I said, it does makes it very, very comfortable on my skin since I now have dry skin, but I don't want to look bad. And that day, of course, that was also before I had my surgery, I looked bad. I was so we're going to go in with cream blush. She just came out with some new cream blushes. So I am going to use one of them. This is the Fenty Beauty cream blush. That's a tongue twister. The shade I have is Strawberry Drip. So I am going to put on Strawberry Drip today. I can't give it this little mirror. Little video mirror. So I know you've seen it on YouTube several times. My daughter was asking, if you look in the video, why you got that brown stain on here? That's because I had to dip in it and dip, so some of my makeup came on here. So I do pat on cream blush. And if you're new to my channel, I'm not a person that's really, really, really into cream blushes. But this one is not that bad. It's not that bad. So I take the cream, I did too much. I take the cream blush and I stipple it. And this is a pretty sheer cream blush. And I am not a person that's really into cream blush. This one is not that bad. Now, can I see myself getting another one of these? Actually, no. Because for the price point, which that little video thing is $20. No, I can't really see myself, not with that price point. And plus, again, I'm not really into a lot of cream blushes. Now, there is a cream blush I do have in the back from Black Radiance, and that one is, you just need a little bit of that, and it's nothing but pigment. Nothing but. And it is not $20. It's less. So I just take that and I'm just stippling it in. You don't see me rubbing. I'm just stippling it in. Just kind of give it a little bit of that blush. But it's also a very sheer blush. Very, very sheer blush. Alright. So we got that on. I like that little, it's like there, as you can see, it's there but not there, and that's kind of what I like about this cream blush. So next we're gonna go on with highlighter. I am gonna use the Fenty Beauty Killawatt highlighter in Ginger Binge Mascara Mule. I absolutely love this one. This is any Killawatt highlighter from Fenty Beauty I really like. Ginger Binge Mascara Mule. I love Ginger Binge Mascara. I love it. I love it. Because I've been playing it. Look at who. And I just go in both sides. Because sometimes I can get a little carried away with this. Oh, this is so pretty. I absolutely love this Killawatt highlighter. I love it. Love it. Definite favorite. It's another one I want to try. I might get that one too. And I'm going to put a little bit on my nose here. Gotta get a little bit on the nose. Just a little bit. Just a little bit on my nose. Just I gotta put a little something on my nose. Gotta put a little something on my nose. Next, we're gonna go with eyeshadow. Now, this is an eyeshadow I've never brought to the channel before. I've had this eyeshadow for quite a long time. I just was never impressed with it. And I wanted to see what was the hype about it. And a lot of people did not like this eyeshadow palette. And when I got it, I was kind of like, oh, I see why nobody didn't like this eyeshadow palette. So this is actually going to be my first time I'm bringing this eyeshadow palette onto my channel. But I've had this eyeshadow palette for several months. And I've actually worn this palette to work. And it was okay. So for eyeshadow, I am going with the Fenty Beauty Moroccan Spice eyeshadow palette. Here it is. Yes, I've never brought it onto my channel before. And that was only because I mainly, any eyeshadow palette I go to as far as work, this is the eyeshadow palette I rock for work. Because they have a couple of colors that's really suitable for work. The other eyeshadow palette I go to for work is my Wet n Wild palette, which I'm going to need another palette because I have hit pan on a couple of them. So yeah, I'm not really into it because the fallout on this palette is just ridiculous. And for the amount of money that it, no. So I'm actually going to go in with a pretty simple look. So if you're new to my channel, I am not into cut creases. If I'm really in a mood, I'll do a halo eye. That's as far as I'm going to go. Usually I just do crease, lid, that is it. So I am going to go in with this shade right here. So I'm going to put that shade in today. Like I said, I'm not all that impressed, but that's why I've never brought it onto my channel. I've had this palette. This was before she came out with her snap shadows, which I do have a couple of her snap shadows. I had already had this palette. I just was like, this is one of these items from Fenty Beauty. I was kind of like, yeah, with it. And as you notice, I never bought it on my channel. To me, it was like, it wasn't worth it. But since I wanted to do a Fenty Beauty makeup look, and y'all have already seen me talk about two other shadows, the snap shadows, which I do have number 2 and number 3. I never bought this one on my channel. And I really realized, I'm like, yeah, I never bought this one on my channel. So I bought it on my channel today. Because this eyeshadow palette was initially $59. For me personally, and I saw other people talk about it, they were right. Because when I put this shadow on for the first time, and this was actually for work, and I want to say I had a couple of meetings that day, so I wore makeup that day. Because there are times if I have a meeting and I know I have something coming up and I want to look presentable, I had whipped this palette out. I said, well, let me see what this palette's all about. And when I really realized it, I was like, oh. So a lot of people that said they didn't like this Moroccan Spice palette, I see why. The fallout is horrible. Some of the shades, don't get me wrong, it's not, how they're placed is not bad. I just don't think the formula of these were all that great. And then it's just, and don't get me wrong, I don't mind fallout on an eyeshadow palette. I have several palettes that have fallout. But when you're $59 and the fallout is this ridiculous, I have a problem with it. And then the pigment payoff, I'm expecting pigment. Because usually if you have a lot of fallout, that means that palette is pigmented. But this palette has fallout and I kind of have to work the colors. So it's kind of like, nah. So even with this, I'm having to work the color. And even when I tried to like smoke it out one time, and it was just so hard to blend. And I was like, you know what, don't worry about it. I said, don't worry about it. But I'm going to go ahead and rock it anyway, because it costs a lot of money. And I was not about to give it away to anybody. I was not. I thought about putting this on my Poshmark, and I changed my mind. So I did not put it on my Poshmark. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and rock what they have. And yeah. If they get rid of this palette, which I think they are getting rid of the palette, look, it won't hurt me at all if you get rid of it. It ain't gonna hurt me. I'm gonna put this little shimmer on right here. I know it's got fallout here, but I'm gonna use this shimmer. So I'm just very, very simple. I didn't even like how the blue performed. And y'all know I have my safe colors, like neutral, deep neutrals, shades, colors I go for. But I did go for this blue one, and as you see, I have used the blue one. I didn't even like that blue one. And sometimes I be feeling a little froggy. And I went out the box and put that one on. I was like, no ma'am. Alright. I'm doing all this makeup to go into an office on a Sunday, and I'm going to be the only one there. But that's alright though. I gotta get some stuff done. So if you're new to my channel, I do work in state government. This year I've been a state employee 20 years. So technically this year, if I wanted to take early retirement, I can. But I'm not gonna do it. Not right now. There we go. So we're gonna do that. And then I'm gonna go back with that initial brush that I used for the first color, and I'm going to blend the two together. Like I say, it's so weird that my daughter's not here. She'll be back tomorrow. She's with her dad. There we go. I don't know, it's like ever since she's been in barber school, her dad's been reaching out to her a whole lot. You know, I just kind of just laugh at it sometimes, like, okay. So I'm going to go ahead and set my face. I'm going to use the Fenty Beauty Setting Mist, the What It Do Setting Mist. And I always set before I do my mascara and my lip. There we go. So we're going to set with that. Let that sit. I don't know. That setting mist has become one of my favorites. And I do know it kind of, you know, what it do. Like a dewy setting spray or not a setting spray or whatever. I use it for setting spray. I love that setting spray. I love it. I love it. So now we're going to go in with mascara. So I am going with the Fenty Beauty Mascara. I had to figure out how to use this. I finally figured it out. I finally figured it out. And now I find myself using this mascara a lot. Now, I don't do eyeliner. I don't do false lashes. I am just not the type of person that is into false lashes. There we go. All right, last lip. I love this lip. I love it. I love it. I'm not disappointed with none of her lip products. All her lip products I have from Fenty Beauty, I use every last one of them. So this one, this one, I use this one a lot. Sorry. This is the Fenty Beauty Stunna Lip Paint. The shade I have is Unveil. I love this deep brown color. I love it. And it is a creamy matte liquid lipstick. It's not an ultra matte. It's a creamy matte. So it is not uncomfortable. Because it will dry down matte. Y'all, I can't tell you how many times I've worn this Stunna lip paint to work. I've worn this to work a few times. I am going to top it with my clear lip gloss from V.A.M Cosmetics. Yeah, I'm at the nub. I know. I'm at the nub with my own lip gloss. I'm at the nub with my own stuff. All right, and that is it with this makeup look. There we go. Kind of got a little dew going on, little hydration, little shine going on here. So I'm going to go ahead and put my earrings on, and then I'm literally out the door. I'm only going to be there in the office for just a little while. This is usually the time I can get a lot of stuff done. I am a supervisor, and it's when the phone is not going to be ringing. There's nobody that's going to be bothering me. I'm literally going to be there by myself. And what ended up happening was when I went to the office a couple of Sundays ago, I went to the office. And usually when I go into the office on the weekend, I always let my supervisor know. My supervisor is the director of the floor of our section. She's the director of our section. And I always let her know that, hey, I'm going to come in a of the weekend. She's like, oh, okay. And this is usually the time that we really do need to be in there on weekends, because we're headed toward our closeout. And that's something I've never really mentioned on my channel is my trade. What is my actual occupation. I know my kids call my occupation super boring. Like, really? Because the one thing I always get on my kids about when it comes to a specific subject in math, a specific subject in school, I just gave it away, it's math. Which is, with me being a fanatic of numbers. First, I love dealing with numbers. I've always loved dealing with numbers, which is my trade. I'm an accountant. So, you're an accountant? Miranda said she got a boring job. She deal with numbers all day. So yes, I am an accountant. So I am going into the office for just a little while today while it was quiet. But what I was saying was, a couple of Sundays ago, I went into the office. It was a Sunday. And I wanted to get some work done because I also knew, I think at the time they were talking about possible tropical storm that was going to be developing in the Gulf of Mexico, which ended up being Tropical Storm Cristobal that hit us here in Louisiana. Well, we missed it here in Baton Rouge. We missed it. New Orleans and all of them didn't really fare, and Mississippi, and they didn't fare so well. But anyway, I had gone in the office, got there, started working, whatever. I messaged my husband and told my husband I made it to the office. Maybe an hour or so later, he messages me and he says, "Are you okay downtown?" Because I do work in downtown Baton Rouge. That's where my office is. My office is in downtown Baton Rouge. I said, "Yeah, I'm fine. What you talking about?" He said, "Oh, well, you know they protesting downtown. They protesting. Wait a minute, what?" Well, what it was they had the peaceful protest for the killing of George Floyd. So they had peaceful protests here in Baton Rouge. I didn't know they were having one that day. And then I realized, well, I didn't notice it was more people downtown than usual downtown. But I thought, people were still trying to get out since we're in a pandemic and trying to get some air, whatever. And I didn't notice a lot of people have been coming out a lot more since the pandemic. And, where we're located, because Baton Rouge is literally located on, the Mississippi River. So where my office is, like across the street from my office is the Mississippi River, the big Mississippi River. So, I think I had protests going on. Oh, okay. And sure enough, I clicked and they were all across the street at the state capitol. And I'm going, oh, well, I'm stuck. So needless to say, I didn't leave my office till 6 o'clock that evening. I had to wait for it to die down. So I don't know what's going on today, but this is usually the perfect time for me to be in the office, get some things done. Nobody's calling me, nobody's bothering me, and I can get a lot of stuff done. So when the work day actually does come on tomorrow, Monday, I won't have next to nothing to do. So that is it with that little bit of story. So I'm actually about to leave, head into the office, be there for a little while, and I'm coming back. But this is my final makeup look. All Fenty Beauty, and hopefully 40 Plus Club approved. So with that being said, this is Venetia Alexander Marshall. I hope you have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.